The ongoing trade war with China continues to weigh on stocks, but driven by both fear and greed, it's been a benefit to the bond market. That's according to our next guest, Mark Grant, who is the chief global market strategist at B. Riley FBR. Mark, it's great to see you. Explain what you mean.
Well, the Chinese issue has caused every day for the last month, the market's up because the China trade tensions have eased. The market's down because they've escalated. As a matter of fact, Becky, I think the China issue is the second most important issue. I think the far bigger issue right now, which nobody's talking about, are the elections in Europe, because I see Germany and France being outed by the populists and nationalists of a number of countries. And I think the European Union is going to be something very different a week or so from now than it is today. And it's going to be a radical change in Europe.
Mark, you've been talking about your concerns with Europe for a while. It hasn't bubbled up to the forefront. Why do you think that this will be the changing mark? This is new leadership in both those countries that's going to radically change what we consider or what we've thought of as the EU?
No, it's the radical change in the populists, the nationalists coming out of Hungary, Poland, Italy, and so forth. Even Britain's Telegraph newspaper overnight suggested that the populists, the nationalists, were going to win control of the European Union Parliament. It's not just me, and I think that's going to be a radical change where Germany and France become vastly minimized in terms of their influence in Europe. So I think it's a huge issue. And you're right, nobody's talking about it because the European Union, of course, doesn't put out anything about it because they don't want to admit what's going on.
What happens as a result, I just mean from the market's perspective, and what you think investors should be doing ahead of that?
I've said for several months now in my commentary out of the box, the big institutions, that they should be pulling money out of Europe as quickly as possible. Some of them, of course, have European mandates, and there's nothing they can do. But I think having money in Europe right now is hugely risky. The elections start on the 23rd. We're right here, and they end on the 26th. And if the nationalists either gain a significant minority or the majority in the European Parliament, it's going to be a very different construct than it's been for the last 20 years.
What's most at risk if that happens? I just mean from a policy perspective and things that will really have an impact on the markets. Because this morning you're looking across the European markets. They're all continuing to trade higher in the equity markets.
That's correct. The big issues are going to be the banking system, the ECB, and then countries in Europe such as Italy getting the laws changed in terms of raising their debt. They're already at 132% to GDP.
You mean allowing them to go ahead and raise it even further?
Even further, which makes the construct even more shaky, if you will.
The front page of the Journal, Mark, yeah. I mean, negative rates designed to jolt Europe become a crutch. Central banks just can't quit you. Just can't quit the policy. It says it's like they're in it, and now they can't get out of that. That was our biggest fear here. Is that still a fear, do you think? And I saw Gunlock talking yesterday about a big, still potential credit event that would not be pretty for any of the global markets. We're still in that risky area, in your view?
Yes, I think so, and especially in Europe and in Japan. Look, there's $10.4 trillion worth of negative debt currently. That's something that any of us 10 years ago, if I would have said, Joe, on your show, that there's going to be negative yielding debt, you would have thought I'd lost my mind or had an extra Grand Marnier or something. And here we are. And that's exactly what we've got. We've got the ECB with assets almost about 42% of the entire GDP of Europe. The Bank of Japan has assets that are equal to the entire GDP of Japan. The escape valve there is going to be the currency, and if things ever start going awash, you could just see huge problems with both the euro and with the Japanese currency, and you got to think this through.
Well, for years now, you've been able to. Just seems like you've been able to see things that not everyone is able To see. You know, Sorkin, this is something that you might want to, you know how you like to have people on?
Yep.
These are called DITA. And these supposedly, and these could not have been in the movie Casino because it was founded in 1995. But some of these are made out of titanium, some are made out of gold.
What is made out of?
This is called listen to this. This is called the 006, I think, isn't it, Mark? And the DITA Flight 006 is a tribute to the bravery of fighter pilots who became an inspiration for men in the post-war years. But the title of this article is "What is the Obsession with DITA?" Because they've been leaders of style now for years. Brad Pitt
with your props.
Brad Pitt, Lady Gaga, Jamie Foxx, Mark Grant, Joe Kernan. Now we can. So what do you think? So I can try these. See, I want to see what they look like on you.
You should mention.
These are my look.
Mark, yes,
Simpson's.
yeah, of course he did.
Mark
yeah,
Simpson's,
of
okay.
course, yes.
Joe, I've known you more than 20 years. I've never seen you look so good.
Yeah.
You look fabulous.
You know what? The lenses seem special.
Yeah, I think ours are a little darker. Or is it just the
It might be the light. Do they change color, Mark?
Andrew, you're looking good.
Thank you, sir.
They might.
Thank you, Mark.